Good evening. In the headlines this evening, former SSL investor Jean Panton charged and remanded. Student slaps teacher in the face, eliciting a protest. And man killed at gas station in Montego Bay. Here are the details. We begin tonight with a development in the case against former Stocks and Securities Limited SSL Wealth Advisor Jean Panton, who was taken to court today for her first hearing. Panton was subsequently remanded after being slapped with several charges in relation to the multi-billion-dollar fraud scandal by investigators earlier today. Mrs. Panton has been charged with breaches of the Larceny Act, Cyber Crimes Act, Proceeds of Crimes Act, and the Forgery Act. Mrs. Panton allegedly stated in a document that she began defrauding clients of their funds as early as 2010. At least 40 account holders are reportedly the victims of theft, totaling billions of dollars. Still making the news tonight, there will be an assessment to the anti-framework legislation to make it more precise and practical, was the statement made by Prime Minister Andrew Holness at the JLP's headquarters upon his return to the country from the CARICOM Heads of Government Conference in the Bahamas. The Prime Minister was exonerated by the Integrity Commission after being referred to the Commission's Director of Corruption Prosecution over alleged conflict of interest breaches.
In every crisis, however, there is an opportunity.
Absolutely.
And I believe that what has happened has presented Jamaica, the entire Jamaica, with an opportunity to take a serious look at our anti-corruption framework and legislation. And I believe that we are beginning to see emerging this general perspective. This should not be taken in any way that the Jamaica Labour Party and the government that it forms and that I lead is in any way supportive of anything that is corrupt.
No, absolutely not.
I think that there is now an opportunity to make the legislation more precise, to make it more practical, and to refocus it on where the problems really exist.
Mr. Holness further stated that there are others who are seeking to use the integrity framework as a weapon.
There are those who see themselves constantly receding to the sideline.
Yeah, man. Well said.
And they have become desperate. They have become corrupted in their minds and in their thoughts and their deeds as well. We have a term for it, it's called bad mind. And when they see the success happening, when they see the glorious international recognition be given to Jamaica, they are not able to stomach it, to fathom it. I would say to those people who are of that persuasion, put Jamaica first.
And with an increase in reports of violence in schools, teachers at the East Kingston-based institution Vauxhall High School staged a sit-in protest while clad in all black today. This in response to an incident yesterday that allegedly involved a pupil slapping a teacher in the face at the school. The teachers published a flyer stating, "The teachers of Vauxhall High School stand in solidarity against student violence toward teachers." The board chairman and the region's education officer today met with the teachers to pacify their concerns. We go now to news from St. James, where the fatal shooting of a man last night took place near a service station in the parish. It is being investigated by the Freeport Police in Montego Bay. The deceased has been identified as 37-year-old Kevin O'Connor of Cedar Hill in Summertown, St. James, and Rock Hall in St. Andrew. According to reports coming into our news center, at about 11:30 p.m., residents of the Portobello neighborhood summoned the police after hearing gunshots coming from the vicinity of the Vesco service station. When the police arrived on the scene, they found O'Connor lying in a pool of blood in the vicinity of the gas station with a gunshot wound to the head. After the area was processed, the body was taken to the morgue for a post-mortem examination. Now, O'Connor is the third person to be fatally shot outside a gas station in Montego Bay since the beginning of the year. Still in news from St. James, the Montego Bay police are urging motorists against leaving valuables in parked motor vehicles at the Fairview shopping complex at Bogue in the parish. This warning comes following reports of several motor vehicles being broken into outside several businesses on the shopping complex. This has resulted in the loss of hundreds of thousands of dollars. Mello TV spoke to 3 victims this morning who related that during the course of this week, they visited the shopping complex to transact business. But upon returning to their vehicle, the pivot glass had been smashed and cash and/or valuables robbed. A number of the victims also indicated that they did not bother to make an official report to the police because the robbers were long gone. When contacted, one senior police officer told Mello TV that they are aware of a number of these robberies and that they are also aware that a number of the victims refused to come forward and make a report. Constant patrolling is carried out at the Fairview shopping complex, and the police are urging motorists to come forward once such an incident has occurred in order to assist them in their investigations. Still in news from Montego Bay, the Montego Bay Metro bus company has indicated that it will now be partnering with principals from various high schools across the parish of St. James and the Ministry of Education in the fight against student loitering within Montego Bay. General Manager at Montego Bay Metro, Dr. Shawnee Gay Brown, told Mello TV News that there are 6 buses that transport students to school as early as 7 a.m. on a daily basis.
It has come to my attention, or I should say our attention, and we have also recognized it from observations in the park, that students of varying schools have been loitering in the bus park and sections of Montego Bay. I want to take this opportunity to remind parents and schools that our buses are available at 7 a.m. in the mornings in the bus park. The schools that we traverse or take our students to, Rossies High School, Cambridge High School, Anchovy High School, Nakalva High School. Importantly, we have available our Fleet Facts app, where parents and schools, teachers, guidance counselors alike can track our buses. The app is available on the Google Play Store. You can download it. The username is mbmcommuter at 60961 and the password Metro with a capital M.
Last week's operation was carried out by several principals at all major transport centers in Montego Bay by various school administrations. Principal of Anchovy High School, Laverne Stewart, who spearheaded the operation, said that the principals and deans of discipline at various high schools within the parish of St. James have joined forces in an initiative to remove students who are loitering on the streets of Montego Bay during early school hours, and they are being instructed to go to their respective institutions that they attend. Continuing with the news tonight, the Universal Service Fund, USF, has launched a community Wi-Fi hotspot in Buff Bay, Portland, as part of the government's efforts to bridge the digital divide. During the ceremony, which was held yesterday at the Buff Bay Primary School, Chief Executive Officer at the USF, Daniel Dawes, highlighted that the USF and Lifespan have also partnered to bolster information communication technology, ICT education, and support across early childhood institutions island-wide. Minister of Science, Energy and Technology and Member of Parliament for Portland Western, Darrell Vaz, says the hotspot will make it easier for individuals to access critical services including education, healthcare, and other government services, and promote economic growth and job creation in the area. Minister Vaz expressed the importance of technology in child development and thanked the USF for its commitment to ensuring all Jamaicans have access to affordable, high-quality communication services. Lifespan Jamaica Limited handed over 6 smart boards to the Buff Bay Primary School in an attempt to transform the way teachers teach. Still making Mello TV news, Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Matthew Samuda, says the National Water Commission, NWC, is reaping success in its efforts to reduce non-revenue water, NRW, in the corporate area and Portmore in St. Catherine. The minister was speaking yesterday at the commissioning of the 50,000-gallon storage tank replacement project in Yorktown, Clarendon. The project has already cut NRW from 71% to under 38%, and a rollout of the full NRW program is expected this year. Minister Samuda highlighted the need for the NWC to build infrastructure that will fundamentally change its capacity to store, process, and deliver water, as over 30% of funds collected by the NWC goes into paying the Jamaica Public Service. He also highlighted the importance of reporting water theft and urged citizens to work with the NWC. Still tonight, a release today by the Statistical Institute of Jamaica, Statin, reveals that for the period January to October 2022, Jamaica's total spending on imports was valued at $6,401,001, while earnings from exports amounted to $1,426,000. Expenditure on imports for the period increased by 33.1% when compared to the $4,810,002 spent in the corresponding period in 2021. Now, this increase was largely attributed to higher imports of fuels and lubricants, raw materials, intermediate goods, and consumer goods, which rose by 30.7%, 59.5%, and 24.7% respectively. The increase in revenues from total exports was 13.8% above that earned in the corresponding period. The growth in total exports was influenced by a 139.4% increase in re-exports. However, domestic exports declined by 1.8%, mainly due to the 49.6% fall in exports from the mining and quarrying industry. And those are the stories making news. Thank you for tuning in to Mello TV Evening News at 8. I am Shelley Hill. Do stay safe, pleasant viewing, and thanks for watching.